Okay, so your question is a very, very deep, deep question. What could you do when your child is doing something that's so dysfunctional and so terrible, so horrible, and so dangerous? Now, it would be great if we can just go ahead and you could tell him, listen, I just want you to know this is so dangerous. And he'll say, what? This is dangerous? Oh my gosh. Wow, thank you for telling me. And he stops. If you yell at him, you scream at him, what are you crazy? What are you doing? You're risking your life. You're throwing away your life. And that works. Wonderful. You should do that. The problem that we have is that when someone is so broken, they are the ones that become vulnerable for people to take advantage of them, for them to believe things that they know is not true. They know that, let's say, a life of selling drugs is not a good life. It's not a healthy life. It's a horrible life. And you can end up in jail. And you can end up, and these are not criminals. These are our beautiful souls that were cute and smart and good and had such a breakdown that they're now open to anything. So when someone's driving down the street the wrong way, and you say, hey, 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 careful. They say, what? No, this is a one-way street. You're going the wrong way. It's not two-way street. And they say, oh, thank you. And they make a U-turn and they go, very good. But once they say, no, no, I know. Leave me alone. What do we do now? So some people say, you got to stop him. Jump in front of the car, grab him, pull him out of the car, shoot the car, the tires. That I don't see any kind of pressure working, any kind of speeches, interventions. I don't see them working. So the world says, oh, such a person has to hit rock bottom. I never heard of something so ridiculous in my life. Do we say that with physical illness? Oh, this person is so sick, they have to hit rock bottom. Then a lot of them will die, but if they don't die, then we can give medicine. Hit rock bottom, there's a bottom underneath the bottom, and the bottom, the last bottom is God forbid, we don't want to say how bottom the bottom is. We have to help them now. But how do you help someone that doesn't want help and doesn't think that they're sick? They know it really, but they're not willing to say, I need help. And even if they say I need help, they can't stop what they're doing. People call it addiction, people call it all kinds of things, but those are just words. Those are just, silly words. But bottom line is the kid is stuck. So the important thing to realize is, number one, this is the same thing as if the child is physically ill. We want the disease to go away. We want the sickness. We can't. But we're going to go visit him in the hospital. We're going to hug him as much as he lets. We're going to say, we're with you. We brought you a gift, if that's what they like. We're going to try to make him smile. We're not going to abandon him. We're not going to say, because we don't know how to heal you and you're doing bad things, so you're on your own. That we won't do. The minimum, what we're doing is we're visiting a sick person that, let's say we can't help them at all, but they're not alone. It's the greatest chesed. You go to visit old people in the old age home and you make them happy and smile. You sing with them, you joke with them, you play with them, you hold them, you carry, you dance with them, whatever you do. When you leave, they're not young. You didn't fix the problem. They're still old, but you gave some joy to an older person or to a sick person. So at the very minimum, that's what we're doing. Our kids are not abandoned because we don't know what to do or because what they're doing. But really, that's much more than just not abandoning them. Because if you look back at the last 30 years, there's so many kids doing bad stuff. The ones that have parents that are with them Ima Yanoichi B'tzara, that with them in the tzara, have the best chance to somehow miraculously get out of it, whether it's something that we could understand or something siguli, like a special force, or the tefillas, or the connection, the schusim. It's a little this, it's a little that. It's a little physical we could understand in this world why someone who has parents that understand him and support him, why they do better. And sometimes we really can't even see how did this happen, that all of a sudden after such a long time that this person gets the chios, the energy to heal themselves, to change their lives. Sometimes we don't even understand it. Maybe it's because silently the parents are the respirator, and you're keeping them alive, and you're giving them a chance to have a better day, where they'll have the energy to break out of this. Maybe the brain heals over time. Maybe there's science is saying there's positive neural pathways by saying you're great, you're smart, amazing, I'm with you. It takes the bad out of the brain, and it paves new roads of goodness and positivity, so they can have a feeling that they have some self-esteem and that they're worth it, and that maybe life is worth living. They're not so broken. Now, the example I'm going to give is not something that I like talking about. It's not so tznius. Baruch Hashem, our kids are really in a higher class of dysfunction, which we can't always appreciate. Most of our kids are really doing well, and they wouldn't do so many things that kids out there are doing who are just as smart and just as good. But I got a text, someone reached out to me about a girl who's unfortunately paying men for services. That's a very broken girl. And it's not a coincidence that she does not have a good relationship with her parents. Parents would say, but how could you have a relationship you're the chemo, you're the medicine. When you have a great relationship with your kid, they are not going to do that, or they're going to get out of that. And we've had many kids who dipped into very bad situations, and they did get out of it. And even by the goyim, where in their mind, being with a man is not even a sin, but a healthy girl won't say, a girl with a healthy self-esteem won't say, I'll take money for it. That's like beneath them. And the ones who are in that profession we know that they don't have a relationship with their parents, especially fathers. What's the connection? Because the connection between your behavior, your attitude towards the world, comes from your attitude towards yourself, your self-esteem. We're dealing with a self-esteem crisis. Something breaks their self-esteem of these kids in pain, which is why I call them kids in pain, because that's the problem. It's not what they do with their problem, that now he's into gambling or he's into this kind of addiction or that kind of addiction. What they do with their pain, what's the difference? If you remove this thing, they'll do something else, because their brain is on fire, and they're just so broken. So one kid is going to party, and one kid is going to be depressed and self-harm, and one is going to be doing drugs, and one is going to be which one's better? They're all terrible. We need them to be healthier. So the first step is to understand that just being there with him, being able to be with your child, and to reach the level that you just reached in a very short time, that your child is open with you about their dysfunctional world, and you're being like, what are you thinking? What are you doing? You want to say, stop. What are you doing? Don't go. Bini, 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 al telech b'derech itam. Don't go with these people. Don't do these things. This is not going to bring you happiness. It's not going to bring you olam haba. It's not going to bring you olam hazeh. It's not going to bring you money. It's not going to bring you menuchas hanefesh. You have a beautiful speech that you want to say, roughly or nicely. Problem is, he's not able to hear, because in his mind he's stuck. Saying it louder is not going to help. Saying it more forcefully is not going to help, because he's going to feel more abandoned. He's going to feel differently. He's not going to say, wow, look at my parents. I have parents that love me so much. They just spent 2 hours of their day yelling at me. Look how fortunate I am. Everybody else, their parents, if they didn't care about me, they would just go outside. It's a beautiful day, spend time with themselves, take a nap, go out for a suntan, do whatever you want. No, they spent hours, the whole family, yelling at me or screaming at me or just telling me or begging me. They don't walk away with a different mindset. Because if they would, you should do it. I'm fine with anything that works. So when you ask me, what should you do? When a child has strep, what should you do? You get a 5-pack, 5 days of thermicin. Used to be 10 days. Now it's 5 days. But they still have strep today. Right, but this is going to help in the future. So what you're doing is, Hashem should protect him until he gets healthy. But this is the maximum that I know of that you can do to help your child. Because if he would have a higher self-esteem, he wouldn't do this. And when he has a higher self-esteem, he will get out of this automatically. Kiyodua, as I've seen happen way more than the other way. Way more. Otherwise, I would not be giving this advice. Don't look at the problem, the behavior as the problem. Look at the broken self-esteem that's causing this behavior. That's the problem. So we compliment and we say, wow, you're great. What's great? What are you complimenting? Why are you saying great? It's terrible. Because I need to build him so he should be able to get out of this, because he knows that this is not a good life. But he feels that when you feel broken, like, for example, right? Let's say you have a kid, God forbid, that breaks their leg. So now they're in a wheelchair. And you go over and you say, sweetie, don't sit in the wheelchair. You gained already 10 pounds just sitting. Get up, go to the gym, walk. You have to walk 10,000 steps a day. Don't sit in the wheelchair. You talk, you yell, you pull away the wheelchair, you force him to get up, you hold him and you let go. Do whatever you want. It's misunderstanding. He knows that sitting in the wheelchair is not healthy. He knows this is not a good way of life. He knows he's going to gain weight and it's going to make him feel even worse. He knows everything. And if you're not sure, you can go over to your kid and say, do you know that this is bad? Do you know that this is not I just want to make sure. Do you know? You know? Okay. So I want you to know. Do you think he's missing?
I'm not sure.
Missing mind? Hold on. Do you think he's missing in his mind? Do you think that 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, 10-year-old understands that this is not smart? And he doesn't realize that this is bad? So then you could say, listen, I just want you to realize, in case you don't know, these are bad people, this is dangerous behavior. We had girls, boys also, but girls who were so broken, they went on a dating app and they had a good relationship with their parents, so they were sharing. And this guy, without a face, they didn't even put a face on, just like a stranger, said, oh, wow, I want to meet you. Let's meet near the house. Let's meet in this place it's closed and construct behind the thing. After it's closed at 11 o'clock at night, come yourself. She's going.
No.
She's going. So if you are not in the world of dysfunction, and you're not in this world, and a lot of people are very smart, but they don't understand the world of dysfunction, they will say and do all the wrong things. What makes it wrong? Because she went anyway, and then she said, beep, beep, beep. She cursed and then she didn't tell the parents when she's going, where she's going. She didn't share the information. And the other way, she's still going to go, but she'll say, oh, you can, I'll give you the address. At least you know where she went. She doesn't come home. At least you know where to send the cops. At least you have something. But you have to stop her. But the other way also doesn't stop her. We had parents who tried because Hashem should protect us. We should never be in such a situation. The girl is going basically to get raped. God forbid. She's going to get murdered or something. And so the mother said, no, don't go. And she went in front of the kid and the kid pushed her mother. So the mother she fell. She got up. She said, listen, I love you so much. And she stood in front of the door. She goes, please, I'm begging. And the kid whacked her in the face, punched her in the face. So, I mean, what are you supposed to do? All of this dysfunctional behavior, selling drugs, meeting up with horrible people, has one thing in common. Somebody, they're not so dumb. It's not a chasar in idea, in brains, or havana, understanding. And if it was, great, just let him know. You could write it down even so there's no tension. Just want to let you know, right? Doing poker with borrowing money from the mafia, going to business with people who kill people, not such a good idea. Selling drugs, not such a good idea. Doing drugs, not such a. You could put a whole list. Everything's not such a good idea. Stay normal in the system. That's a good idea. Any step out of this whole normal functioning is not a good idea. Correct. And if it would work, I'd be so happy. But when it doesn't work, so we have to realize that there's infections. These are infections, diseases, infections that are really dangerous. But it comes from an internal broken essence. So we start to do like chemo on the machla, on this emotional cancer. And it takes time. And it is dangerous. Baruch Hashem, our success is very, very great. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do this. But yes, it's very dangerous and it's very risky because while you're doing the chemo, meanwhile, the cancer is still there. While you're doing this, it takes time. And I don't know if you have a better way, let me know. People who grab the kid and put them in jail or in boot camp or in rehab, they have a much lower success rate. We have a higher success rate, but yes, we daven like crazy when the kid goes out. We had a mother who every time her daughter went out to terrible places, she said nishmas, and she cried out to Hashem. And we have many families. They say nishmas even like when something good happens, they say nishmas. Something bad happens, when there's a risk. The father wasn't able to deal with it, and the mother was just saying Tehillim and nishmas for hours, every night. And her daughter was going to, I can't say all the details. Baruch Hashem, she spoke at the Shabbaton. She's married and from now. How that happened, that she's stable and from and married, I honestly don't know. But the parents focused not on the behavior that they could not stop, the dysfunctional behavior, the horrible behavior. I'm not talking even about sin. I'm not talking about safe, happy, fun sin. They don't do that. It's so dysfunctional. I'm talking about terror. The girl was in the hospital. She was beaten. She kept on going out because she fell in love with an Arab. And she felt that the guy loves her. And he said, get away from me. And they sent her back in an Uber once when I don't know if she was drunk. I don't remember. Or someone put like a pill in her thing. And the Uber driver raped her also. And she was beaten up and she kept on going out. How did this happen? That now and since she flipped around without therapy, which she really should go for therapy. She's happily married. She already has kids. It's about 5 years. Quiet. It's like, what happened? So we're focusing very much on healing the source of the problem. Healing the source of the problem. That's all we can do. The NKN is the first step. So he'll be honest with you, she'll be honest with you, and then you can be in their life. Now, once you're in that life, God have mercy, because you're going to hear such dysfunction. If I can't tell you all the dysfunctional stuff that I heard from boys and girls involved in craziness, insanity. Now, if we go ahead and we start saying the other stuff, no, please don't do that. We abandon being the respirator. They don't look at us as trustworthy because they just look at us like, you don't get me. You don't understand me. You're always trying to convince me not to do it. And they don't, even though they know that you love them, they don't feel loved, so they just become more sneaky. You just said now, very important, that since you started recently, TP, now he's very open with you. That's only because you supported dysfunction. If you're going to now use the information that he gives you to, in his mind, hassle me, start telling me, I don't think you should, blah, 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 he's going to shut down again. He's going to still be in danger. You just won't know. But he's in more danger because you don't know. So once we know, very, very, very difficult to have the training to be able to see and hear and listen to dysfunction and not abandon the fact that I could hear and hold this and be with you and drop you off and pick you up and say, sure, no problem. Tell me if you need something. If I abandon that, he's much weaker. This is very, very dangerous. It has to be done properly under my guidance or guidance of an expert. And most experts are going to say, no, no, call 911 because they can't take responsibility. I also can't take responsibility. I can just tell you the fact that if you make him shut down by being logical, then he's worse off. If you don't make him shut down, you say, wow, this is such a great opportunity. It's so twisted. That's why it's called twisted parenting, because I got to be his parent. I got to be there for him so he'll be open with me. So first of all, he's going to feel that he has parents. He's not going to get worse. And I can help him when he's in trouble. And also I'm healing him by the fact that I'm so close to him, because when you can, you're going to take him on a trip and you're going to do this and you're that. And that's what all of a sudden when they're away and their life is great and they're at the Bahamas or wherever it is on an island and it's beautiful, and then they start to think, I don't want to go back to that. They start to realize, I don't need that. Let me find another way to enjoy life. And we start to put in what they call now in science positive neural pathways, which I've been doing for before science knew about this, as far as I know. Just make him happy. But he won't go with you if he thinks you don't get him. So you have to go kind of undercover. But for real, it's not a game. To be able to do your role of being the person that he trusts and he could share with. And if you say, what? No, and I don't blame you, but then you abandon your role. And the result is, and this is not my shita, or it's my experience, most likely, probably all, they will shut down and then they are in more danger and you don't even know anything. So then you didn't accomplish. It's very painful, and I'm davening for you that you should be out of this stage very fast. Like many, many people, even over here in the group, you'll see people who will say that they were in this stage of, there's different types of what the kids do when they are in dysfunction. But what healed them is not trying to stop it or challenge them or help them by going against their brain, but by giving them support. They feel supported. This is what really the mainstream doesn't understand. They think that, like, what are you doing? What's this Avi guy saying? It doesn't make any sense. But Lamaisa, the bottom line is they end up stronger, faster, quicker, and then they could just start being normal. And then they themselves look at the other people doing that. They're like, what are they doing? It's so dangerous. Or they look back and they say, I can't believe I did that. And you were always with me. And that's why they're so appreciative that you stuck with me during my times that I was so confused. So all of this support helps them to get out of it. So even though it looks like you're not resisting, you're not going and pushing it away and going against it, you're actually kind of like moving them into a higher level of self-esteem and less dysfunction. And this is what we see. We don't have kids in gangs. Why don't we have TP kids in gangs? Because to be in a gang and to be destructive, and we don't have kids in jail. Why not? We have less kids, way less kids, girls getting pregnant. Why? They're so dysfunctional. I know. But I guess somehow when your parents are in your life, just everything, you care more. You're more careful. You don't have to go and just take praise from anyone. You can make a decision. This guy, the girls who are abandoned by their parents, they'll go to anybody. And terrible things, guys also, terrible things happen to them. Boys, men also. And that's why we focus on doing what you're doing. When you said, what can we do for him? You're doing it. What can we do quicker? As much as you can of this. What could stop him right now from wanting to do what he wants to do? Right now, nothing. We have to change his want. We have to change his rutzen, that he shouldn't be so broken to want or think that this is a good life and I can't be successful at something else, which is only going to happen when you fix I keep on pointing here because it's like I'm picturing an x-ray of ribs, but they're all broken. They're so hurt. And you could see actually in your case, on the pictures, everybody could see he's so broken. And I just want to say that the picture you sent me today, I didn't have a chance to respond, of the way that you sat next to him and he, an adult male, just with the hoodie on, and he leaned right into you. That's all you could do for him right now. And you kissed him on the head. That's all you can do for him. and Hashem should help answer your prayers and all of our tears and our tefillos. You're doing the maximum, and he feels it. And if he's in a better case, and you see he already changed because he's open with you. How do you get, parents say, how do I get my kid to be open with me? You already know the answer. How do I get my kid to not do this? It's the same answer. Connection, connection, connection. How did you get him to be open with you? How did you get him to be safe next to you, to be able to cuddle up in your arms so you can kiss him? He's a different person. No matter how bad this disease is, he's not alone and abandoned. What did you do to change? You became safe. And you supported terrible things. When he came up with the last bad idea, I'll do it. You stayed up all night with him. All night with him. Everybody would say, what are you doing? Now look back. How did you support what he did? How did you help him do the bad things that he did, which is bad for him? Because this is what you have. You have a child who's open with you, who's not lying, who feels that I have parents that I can trust, who will let you hold him, who will let you be with him. You gave him parents in his life. And it's the same thing with every new stage of dysfunction. Every new stage of dysfunction, and this infection comes, and then this one, it's like, Vayavai Haman, and okay, now he's into this, now she's into that. We're never going to let anything cause that the child should not be able to be open with mommy and daddy. And that means not commenting on the obvious of saying, what are you doing? You're worth more than this. I know how to say it. You're better than this. Don't do this. Please don't do this. It doesn't help. Now again, if you think they're missing information, if you think they're going down the street the wrong way and you tell them, they're going to say, wow, thank you. Of course you should tell them. But when you know that they know, or you try telling them, they didn't listen, now you have to say, why is my kid driving down the wrong way and risking his life? That means he doesn't value his life. Let me make him value his life. How do I make somebody value their life? Love, connection, fun. And don't let anything stop that from happening, which means, therefore, I can't say, hey, you're going the wrong way. Because then they just, middle finger goes up and they just say, get out of my face. And I cannot stop the immediate danger. Daven to Hashem. Hashem should protect him. And our love also protects. Remember from Egla Rufa what we learned. That when we love somebody, it's a bechina of, it's a concept of that Hashem protects those, Ritzoy Nirei of Yasa, and Hashem protects those that we care about. That's what we have to focus on. And I wish I had a quicker solution, but I think that our solution overall very much works almost always. So I hope that we're going to have that success for you and for everybody who's here, Nebuch, with kids who are in dysfunction.